Hello, welcome to the Elone Show. I'm your host, John Elone. In this episode, no regulars, because reasons, as always. As for our guest, he's from Florida. He is the leader and lead guitarist of the new metal core band, A Movement of Violence. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Desi Penna.
Hey guys, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. So, how's life?
Life's doing good, man. Busy, busy, busy all the time, trying to, put out some new music and stay relevant in the music market and just promoting and, just kind of running things from left to right over here.
Yeah, I'd say the same. I'm very busy too, especially with a project for a defunct app that most people vaguely remembers.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Cool.
Is there anything you're currently working on or up to recently?
Yeah, so I'm also the producer and the engineer for the band musically as well. So with that said, we actually are on the verge of dropping a new single, which happens to be a cover song or a reimagination of a cover song that we currently like. I'll tell you, I don't know if you've ever heard of Bullet for My Valentine, but Bullet for My Valentine has a song called Your Betrayal. And basically, what we've done is we recreated it in our own imagination. And I just got finished mixing it, and I got to say it's pretty wild. It's going to be a super cool song, and I think everyone's going to love it.
Fabulous. So, what's the origins of the band?
Well, originally it was me. Excuse me. It's me and our previous drummer, who's unfortunately no longer with us. His name was Scott. Him and I had started the band. Everybody in this band is actually from different areas of the United States. And Florida has typically, I mean, if you guys didn't know this, but Florida typically has a lot of transplanted people from different areas of the country. And we all kind of just met up down here. But him and I were the first two. We actually played on a softball team together. And then ultimately, we kind of found out that each other enjoyed hard rock and heavy metal type of music. And then I came to find out that he was actually a drummer. And I've been a guitar player and songwriter for a very, very long time. And then ultimately, we had a few talks about potentially starting a band. Nothing really came of it for, I would say, approximately a year. And then one day we actually were hanging out at my house at a barbecue for the softball team as well. And we decided to actually full fledged go for it. So we went down to West Palm Beach from where I'm at, which is about an hour away. And we found on Facebook Marketplace, we found a drum set that was used. So we ended up getting that. I already had all my guitar stuff, so him and I just started jamming out on some of the old songs that I had written previously, and they started to really meld together, and we started to sound really good, the two of us. So we went on the hunt for other members, but again, neither of us was from the South Florida area, so we didn't really know many musicians. But through technology and social media, we were able to kind of like audition a couple other guys. We had searched for a guitarist for the longest time, on social media. And then it just so happens that one day Scotty was going to watch my house and my dogs while I went away on vacation. And I was talking to my neighbor's wife right across the street. And I said, hey, if you happen to see Scotty here, while I'm away, he's going to be watching the house and watching the dogs. It's okay that he's there. She's like, oh, is that the guy that plays drums in the band that I hear that you guys play? I said, yeah, that's who it is. And she goes, oh, you guys sound really good. She goes, my husband happens to be a guitarist as well. And I said, oh, no kidding. I said, we were actually looking for another guitar player. So we ended up, meeting Brent that way. And, Brent is probably one of the hardest working guys I know. He really diligently, practiced and rehearsed the songs just to get them down really great. And then he became the third member. And, him and I together, it's just like, it seems like it's almost an unstoppable force, so to speak. And then we were looking for a bass player. We tried, maybe about 4 to 5 different guys. We finally found the one that we currently have. His name is Miguel. He's just adds that low end, and he's an extremely good player. He's very talented as far as doing videos and stuff like that. So we're like definitely pleased to have him. And then we auditioned a bunch of vocalists, and that was another struggle to find somebody who was really the right fit. We had met Alex. Alex previously was a professional wrestler, so we knew he was an entertainer already. So we absolutely loved that about him. And we brought him into the band. And, originally, Alex, as far as our band goes, is like the screamer guy. So he's doing a lot of the heavier stuff. And, at that time, we were kind of searching around for a clean vocalist as well, too. But in the interim, being that I can sing okay, we were able to record me and make it sound really good on recording, but we still wanted somebody for the live aspect of it to really just to make it similar to the recordings and the record. So we had found Russ at an open mic that he was hosting locally, and at first he was very busy in his other bands that he has. He's got a cover band that does a lot of like '80s rock and stuff like that. And he didn't really have much time to be able to devote to doing what we wanted to do, so it just wasn't the right time, I guess, for him at that point. But if you fast forward to a year later, an opening has come up in his schedule, and he was able to, join the band and kind of join forces with us. So, we had a full staff at that point. Unfortunately, Scotty didn't end up working out when we found somebody else. We got a new drummer. His name is Rizzo. His real name is Chris Valicenti, but he's actually goes by the nickname Rizzo. Great fit. He ended up melting with us amazingly, and the band's just really an unstoppable force. And we're actually, during the interim when we were finding Russ, we were able to secure a recording contract with Wake Up Music Rocks, which is also out of South Florida here. But they've got some pretty awesome bands and artists on their label. And then, from there, we've released singles. We're, on the radio all over the world. And we've got out of all 4 releases that we've released, every single one of them has gone top 20 on the DRT rock chart. So we're definitely, which gauges spins around the globe. So we're definitely stoked about that. And the sky's the limit, man. We look forward to like blowing it up. So
Wow, that is quite a story. And in terms of right now and possibly the future, are there any potential dates for concerts or other performances for the band to do?
yeah, for sure. We've got quite a bit. It turns out November is like super super busy for us. Most recently, I'm sure everyone's familiar with Iron Maiden. We actually played a show down in Pompano Beach, Florida, at a place called Piper's, which is a really nice club. Recently, that was back in July. We played with Nico McBrain from Iron Maiden. He's got a band here that when they don't tour in the state of Florida, he actually plays all Iron Maiden music down here. So we played with them. That was a great show. There's probably like 300-400 people there. Last month, actually not even the last month, probably about a week and a half to 2 weeks ago, we just played with Trapped and Citizen Kane over in Satellite Beach, Florida. That was a great show. There's probably about 100 people or more there as well. Excellent turnout. Every band was on fire that night, and we had a great crowd. And surprisingly, it was Thursday, so that ended up working out pretty awesome. Upcoming right now, we've got a show that we're headlining in Port St. Lucie, which is our hometown. That we do expect to have a large drawing because we do have a lot of support locally here. In addition to that, we've got a show with Kill Devil Hill in West Palm Beach, which was originally Rex Brown from Pantera's band. He's no longer in the band, I don't believe, but there's some, ex former pro guys from super popular bands that you've heard of. One of them happens to be the bass player. The original bass is from Five Finger Death Punch, and then they also have the drummer from Typo Negative, and that's at the Banyan in West Palm Beach. That place hosts, I think, like 2,500, 3,000 people. So there should be quite the amount of attendees to that one. What else do we have? We have a show at Propaganda in Lake Worth, Florida in November, and then we also have we're playing a festival down in Hobe Sound, Florida in November as well. So we got quite the packed schedule, quite the things going on for sure.
Wow, that sounds very busy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there any point in the future does the band want to do like a world tour, like go visit other countries and perform to fans internationally?
Definitely. We have a saying in this band, our inside, like our business motto is to the moon. So, we're on our way to the moon, man, and we're just going to keep going until we achieve that. We've had a wild amount of success in a short period of time. Some of the accomplishments, excuse me, and accolades that we've achieved are some things that it takes bands, 10, 15 years to get, in just such a short period of time, over the stretch of like 2 years. I mean, we've been able to really achieve a lot of stuff. So we're going, man. We keep pumping stuff out. We keep pumping music out. We just keep playing out and developing our fan base and, being very diligent with social media and stuff like that. So we're going, we're growing, and the moon is the final destination, man. So absolutely, to answer your question, we want to play worldwide, without a doubt.
Sounds good, very good. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
If I could live anywhere in the world, I don't know. I think I'm living my dream here in Florida, but I'd like to visit a lot of different places and stuff like that. I definitely would like to get over to the UK, over to like Italy. I'd like to see Greece, But as far as living, I mean, it's sunny South Florida, man. It doesn't get much better than this. You kind of always feel like you're on vacation. Summertime, it might get a little bit, overly hot, but it's a beautiful area to live in, and I'm originally from New York, so not having to see any more snow is definitely beneficial for me personally.
Yeah, absolutely. If you were hosting a dinner party and you can invite 5 guests, who are either dead or alive, who would you invite?
Oh, that's a good one. So it's going to be musical people for sure. I would say my top one would be Dimebag Darrell from Pantera, just because he's an amazing guitar player. And then I would also want to get Dave Mustaine from Megadeth. He's probably one of the first guitarists that I actually, inspired me to pick up a guitar in the first place. Just always loved his songwriting and the way that he would structure things. Still to this day, I keep a lot of his style, or some of the tips and tricks that he kind of portrays on his records into my individual writing overall. Who else would like to get out there? Let's take Lane Staley from Alice in Chains. I would also like one of my favorite mixers of today is a gentleman by the name of Tyler Smith, who's done some work with I Prevail and Falling in Reverse, to name a couple. He's definitely one. I got two more, right? So let's throw Nikki Sixx and Tommy Lee from Motley Crue in the mix, just because they're wild animals, and I'd love to see how they like to party, man.
Wow, fantastic.
Mm.
What's the best way to start the morning?
Cup of coffee, and kind of just organize your day and get it ready to go, and then maybe like a short walk and some exercise. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, can't argue with that. Have you ever thought about living off the grid?
I have. It's not something that I know that I would be super great at by any stretch, just because, again, I'm from New York. I grew up as a city boy, and that was my childhood and everything like that. But living off the grid would be pretty cool to some extent, because like, you would have your own farm and you'd be able to make your own food and kind of live without having many bills, I guess. But overall, I think that I would get, I would definitely get stir crazy, and I would have to get myself back towards the regular city living population type of environment.
Oh yes, absolutely.
I would probably record a lot of music, because there would be not much else to do. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, of course. Gotta keep yourself busy somehow. Which which pizza topping do you most relate?
well, my favorite pizza topping would be sausage, for sure.
No way, me too.
There you go.
Impressive. What a coincidence. Would you rather speak all languages or talk to animals?
Ooh, I guess maybe talk to animals, because you never know, if you're out and living off the grid, you might run into like some lion, tigers, and bears. You know what I mean? So maybe being able to communicate might be a helpful, type of situation for you.
Yeah, absolutely. How did you spend your last birthday?
My last birthday. Well, I mean, nowadays it seems like your birthday is just another day of the year, but typically what we like to do is kind of like pick out whatever. In my family, we like to pick out whatever that person likes as their favorite meal, and we'll cook it and just hang out, maybe have a couple of drinks and just relax. Nowadays, not so interested in going out to the bars and hanging out. I'd rather just kind of chill at home and relax and have a nice, easygoing day for the most part.
Yeah, fair enough. Where was the nicest place you have been to?
Nicest place? Well, it's kind of funny you ask that because, as a, mid 40-year-old man, I haven't really ventured out of the United States many times. I've gone to Canada one time. I've gone pretty much everywhere in the United States. Um, but we actually went on a cruise to the Bahamas, and I thought that was pretty awesome to kind of go to the private island and, see how crystal clear the water is. You could, kind of see 100 feet down and see some of these tropical fish and stuff like that. So I thought that was really cool. So I would say the Bahamas is probably one of the nicest places that I've visited for sure.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Although I've never been there, I'd like to go there someday.
You got to come to Florida and you get on one of these cruises for relatively inexpensive, and you have a great time for sure.
Sounds good, yes. If you had to get rid of a holiday, which would you get rid of?
Well, I am a holiday person. I do like the holidays, so I would probably, I don't know. Does New Year's Eve count? I mean, let's get rid of that one because I enjoy Christmas a lot. I enjoy Thanksgiving for sure because I like football and I like food, and I also enjoy Halloween too because we like to decorate the house and make it cool for the kids and stuff like that.
Yeah, indeed. What bad habits do you want to get rid of?
Bad habits?
Yes.
Well, most recently, I got rid of smoking, which is pretty much a super lifelong type of a bad habit, and I'm happy to say that I really haven't smoked cigarettes in probably 3-4 months now. So that's a good thing.
Great, fantastic. Have you heard of a drink called banana friche?
I have not.
That's what a lot of people tell me.
Is it any good?
Oh yeah, it's absolutely amazing.
Really?
Oh
Is it
yeah.
is it an alcoholic beverage or is it just a regular type of drink?
It could be alcoholic.
Yeah, sure. I guess you could put anything in it, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It sounds like one of those drinks that you would have in the Bahamas.
Oh yeah, of course. Do you like spicy food?
I love spicy food. I'm a Hispanic man, so I definitely grew up with spicy stuff, and when I cook, I like to put a lot of spice in my food. Sure.
Yeah, me too. What would you do if you found out you won the lottery?
If I found out that I won the lottery, I would probably pursue a business in the music industry for sure, like a standing business, like something that's already been proven successful. I would try to acquire something like that. And, I wouldn't do like most and just kind of like stop working. I'm the type of person who's always got to be doing something. So I would definitely pursue another business and try to make that money, make some money for, to inherit off or, kind of transfer off to my heirs and stuff like that.
Yeah, sounds good. If someone wrote a book about you, what do you think its title would be?
That's a good one. The Music Man.
Yeah, sounds good. What's the weather like where you are right now?
Probably about 85 and humid.
Same.
Yeah. It's South Florida, so like it could be 110 degrees over in Arizona and California and still feel hotter here in Florida at 85 and humid.
Yeah,
It's almost like when you walk out the back door, you walk into a cloud of wet air. That's really what it is.
yes, wet air. What is the one thing you can't live without?
Well, for me, it's music. That's the one thing that's always kept me going and always made me aspire to do better in and everything like that. So music's in my blood. It's in my veins. If I didn't have it, I'd be lost.
That is so true. Have you met anyone famous?
To a degree, yeah. I mean, I've met guys in the music industry that are, relatively big names and stuff like that. But Outside of that, no, not really.
Fair enough, it happens. What flavor of ice cream do you wish existed?
Do I wish existed? I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. The one that I like the best already exists. It's chocolate chip cookie dough.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Who was the last person you've talked to?
My wife, she's right inside right now.
Ah, okay. Cool, cool. If you have to choose between skydiving, bungee jumping, or scuba diving, which one would you choose?
Definitely scuba diving because I have a fear of heights, and the other two would not fly for me at all.
Alright then.
Mhm.
What's the best way to stay motivated?
I would say the best way to stay motivated is to really to set a realistic goal and do it in bits and pieces, right? So like kind of instead of saying, oh, I got to get to the top of this mountain today, or by the end of this month, I would say, well, I got to at least take 100 steps up the mountain today. And if you calculate them and add them all together, I think that that's gonna get you to the top of the mountain. But also, keep the end in mind, and remember and picture daily, what your end result is and what you're actually trying to achieve.
Yes, sounds good. What's the best thing you have ever bought off Amazon?
Best thing I've ever bought off of Amazon. I mean, I am a frequent Amazon user. I don't know. Currently, actually, one of the coolest things I actually bought was Steven Slate makes a pair of these headphones. It's called VSX. It's like a virtual studio headphones, and for my recording studio, it kind of like what it does is it emulates an actual studio room, and a lot of them are like these famous studios that have produced like big records out of. So that's probably one of the coolest things I actually purchased, and it actually really works. So I would say that.
Sweet, sweet. Would you rather sleep on the wall or sleep on the ceiling?
Huh. Sleep on the ceiling because I just think that would be cooler.
Yeah, and all the floor space too.
Yeah.
Would you rather be teleported 500 years into the future or 500 years into the past?
I'm going to say the past. And the reason being is because you already know what happened. You know what I mean? In the future, it could be anything. You could teleport 500 years in advance and there'd be nobody there. You know what I mean? At least you have an idea of what happened with 500 years in the past.
Yes, that's a very good point. If your mind was an island, what would it look like?
My mind was an island. Well, again, I like the tropical type of setting. So, I mean, it would have super clear, crystal clear waters and beaches. It would be like a big party, with DJs, kind of hanging out, drinks, food, nice beaches. And I would say, yeah, that's pretty much it. I think that would be pretty amazing time, actually.
Nice. If you had a song for every time you enter the room, what song would that be?
My entrance song. That's a good one. You kind of stumped me on this one. Let me think. I don't know. Maybe one of my songs. We'll call it "Stone Cold Killer." That's the one that it would be every time I walked in, because it's a song about a professional fighter who affirms himself, and he's just a savage, and but he achieves what he's looking to do.
Very good, very good. What is the most ridiculous fact that you know?
Ridiculous fact. You're getting me on these ones now. These later ones are getting pretty hard here. Ridiculous fact. I think you got me on that one. I don't have an answer for it.
That's alright. Not a lot of people have figured out a fact of their own either, so
Yeah.
it's understandable. Would you rather be really hot or really cold?
I think cold because you'd always be able to, which is kind of contradicting what I'm saying as far as wanting to live in Florida and stuff like that. But I mean, if I had to go the extremity on each side, I think if you're really cold, you can always add more clothing and kind of warm yourself up. But like, you can only take your clothes off until you're stark naked on the other spectrum, in the super hot weather.
Fair enough, fair enough. That's a good point. And that is all we have for this episode. It's great having you on, Desi, talking about the band, the origins, and the future, and a lot of other things. It's been great.
Oh yeah, definitely. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. You got some super cool questions, and I enjoyed answering them, and unfortunately, couldn't get that one. But hey, listen, it happens. You know what I mean? So
Yes, it sure does. And until next time, stay tuned for more.